I had a background of childhood abuse, and I grew up controlled by fear. I grew up thinking my body was disgusting and that I'm dirty and that it's shameful to be a woman.
Growing up, my father was he physically and sexually abused me, and through that kind of put on this belief that I had about myself, that I'm not valuable or that I can't do anything right.
I lived my life with these beliefs underlying, not knowing that that's what I was believing, but it dictated the choices that I made in life.
With that kind of core belief of not feeling valuable, that ended up always kind of bringing out a lot of shame, a lot of these shame messages that something's wrong with me, that I'm dirty or not useful, or that I can't do anything right.
That carried over to my young adult life and losing my virginity to a man that asked me to marry him, and I chose to marry him because I didn't think anybody else would ever ask me to marry him. So I became a mother very early on and fulfilled my desire of identity to be wife and mother.
You're like, oh, I'll just try to not do these things and somehow, that will work, and then get into this kind of really heavy performance mindset that, oh, I'm not valuable, and these things I'm doing make me also not valuable, and feeling like, oh, I have to stop doing those things and I need to just keep performing and performing and performing and performing to have something that even remotely resembles value.
As I continued living my life, doing my best to protect myself and depending upon my husbands to protect me and to provide for me and my child, I learned that they're not capable. I'm not capable of providing the way that I felt like I wanted or needed.
So God eventually started to bring people into my life that started to help me see my value, as well as throughout my healing journey, he started to just reinforce that my value doesn't come from what I do or what I can bring, that my value is something intrinsic that comes from him.
Through a long story and years of brokenness and addiction and abuse recovery, by God's grace, he brought me to Mid-Valley Fellowship, and I began one-on-one counseling with Angela.
And so ultimately I started to realize that my value doesn't change. Regardless of what I do, regardless of what I think about myself, my value doesn't change. How God sees me and how he values me is constant.
And for the first time in my life, invited Jesus into those dark places that had been wounded as a child and throughout my marriages. Invited him in to shine his light, to reveal what was really there, what really happened, what was I feeling in the midst of that, and helping me to then come to the realization of the lies of what I had been believing.
And with that started to break down that cycle, because suddenly, I no longer need to perform for value because my value is the same no matter what, which means also those mistakes don't decrease my value, which helps break down that shame.
The Lord began to show me that I am his, that I am truly loved. I am chosen. He's chosen me. That I am equipped, that his Spirit empowers me to serve him, to walk with confidence. He is my protector. He is my provider. He is my Father. As I began to learn who he is, I began to learn who I am.
Now I believe that I am God's workmanship, that I am loved and valued by him and worthy of relationship with him, and that ultimately my value is unchanging regardless of what I do. And with that comes great freedom to be able to serve God in new and amazing ways.